Hi everyone, I hope that you're all well. So we're on the topic of averages, and a huge well done to those of you that have worked through the online homework on My Maths, where you've been working through finding the mode and the median from frequency table from last lesson. So here I've got a little recap question for you, just to practice those skills that you've learned from last lesson. So if we read the question together, a list of 50 numbers has been summarised in the grouped frequency table below. Here then, this is slightly different to the tables that we've had in our previous lesson. We've been working with just frequency tables, but this year the data has been placed into groups. So here there are three people then that had the numbers between 0 and 9 then. But don't worry too much about grouping data, because that's going to be covered in the upcoming lessons. So the skill and the steps that you take to find the median here is the same as what you have learnt. Okay, so what you will need to do is find the total frequency, which is 50, add 1 onto it, then half that, so half 51, find where that median term is, that middle term, okay, and then work down, finding the cumulative frequency, and then as you go across, write down what the group is. So you need a pen and paper. If you pause the video and then try to answer this question, please, to get that 1 mark, and then when you're ready to mark your answer, press play, and I'll be going through the answers with you. Okay, so hopefully now you paused and you've just pressed play, ready to mark your answer. Alright, so here this is a GCSE past paper question. So here you can see the answer was the group where the number was from 30 to 39 then, or well, 30 to 40 would be the group that you'd write down. Okay, so if we go through how you got that. So as I said, the first step that you need to do is find the total frequency, which is 50, add 1 onto it, and then half it. So that would be 51 divided by 2, which is going to be 25.5. Okay, so 25.5, that is where the middle term is. Okay. So what we then do is we go from here, the top frequency here, and we find the cumulative frequency. So we go down, and there I would have passed 3 altogether. Continuing to go down, adding on, so 3 add 5 is 8. So I would have passed 8 people, for example. So I need to continue until I find that 25.5, or I've passed it. So here I'm going to have 8 plus 9, which is 17. Continue down here, where we're going to have 17 plus 13, which is 30. So that means then the median lies in this group there. Okay, so that's from last lesson. So huge well done. Hopefully you've got that mark. Okay, so today, in this lesson, the learning objectives are to find the mean from a frequency table. So here we have an example. Neil decides to collect data in the school canteen. He asks every student how many portions of fruit and veg they ate the previous day. He collects data for just girls first. Okay, so he's asking girls this question of how many portions of fruit and veg they ate the previous day. And you can see here, 8 girls had no fruit and veg. 4 girls had 1 portion, 2 girls had 2 portions of fruit and veg, 12 girls had 3 portions, etc. Now, if we were asked to find the mean, what we'd need the total number of portions and the total number of girls, because to find the mean, remember, you find the total amount of numbers then, or portions, and you divide it by the total frequency. Okay, that's how you find the mean, as you remember from one of the first few lessons. Okay, so we need the total number of portions and the total number of girls. And that will allow us to calculate the mean. Okay, so here, this is what will be needed. So let's split this up a bit then. First of all, let's find the total number of girls. How many girls were questioned in the survey? And how we would do this is we would add up the amount of girls here. So you are allowed to use a calculator. If you have a calculator with you, type those in and find the total number of girls. Should have had an answer of 87 girls. So now we have the total number of girls, which is 87. Okay, so now we need to calculate the total number of portions eaten by these 87 girls. So the way that we do that is, first of all, if we add another column to the table, that can help us. And so you had 8 girls that had no portions. Okay, so 8 lots of 0 would be 0. We had 4 girls that had 1 portion, and that would be 4 would be the total number of portions for those 4 girls. 2 girls that had 2 portions, so 2 lots of 2, which is going to be 4. We continue to work down like this to find the total number of portions for us. Oh, that's a 95. Okay, and then down here what we will do is you'll find the totals. So type these into your calculator, adding them up, and you should have had 379. So now to find the mean, what we do is we work out 379 divided by 87, giving us an answer of 4.35631, which when you have a long number like that, you can round it then to either 1 or 2 decimal places. So we'll put that, and then we'll put 21 dp. Okay, so here then it's saying on average the amount of portions of fruit and veg that girls are eating each day then is about 4.4. Okay, so then if you were testing a hypothesis on this, maybe, so a hypothesis is a statement. So for example, it may be that you were trying to see whether or not girls were healthier than boys with the amount of fruit and veg that they ate. So what you'd do is you'd collect data. So like there, they collected data for girls, and here then you may be collecting data for boys. Okay, so again, what you'd need to do to find the mean, you need to find the total number of portions divided by the total number of boys, and then that will help you then to find the mean. Okay, so if you, I know it says your example, but what I'd like you to do is to try this question out yourselves, and then, so get yourself a pen and paper, press pause, try out this question, and then if you're ready to mark your answer, press play and you can work through it with me. Okay. Alright, hopefully you have tried this question out and now you're trying to mark and see if you were able to follow. So the first thing that you need to do is to find the total number of boys by adding up all of these numbers here. You should have got an answer of 91. Okay, then we're going to find the total number of portions by again then multiplying here, that would be 0, multiplying, that would be 18, multiplying 17 lots of 2 portions, that's going to give you 34, 3 lots of 13 portions, that's going to be 39, 4 lots of 14 portions, that's going to be 56, 4 lots of 5 portions, which is going to be 20, 6 lots of 6 portions, which is 36, and 5 lots of 7 portions, which is 35. Okay, so now what we do is we add up this column to find the total number of portions. So if you type that into your calculator to find the sum, you should have had a total number of portions of 238. So now we can find the mean by finding the total number of portions divided by the total number of boys, and that should give you a mean of 2.61538462, which round into 1 decimal place would be 2.6. and finding the mean is as easy as that. Okay, so here then, if we were testing a hypothesis, who eats more fruit and veg, girls or boys? You can see here that on average girls eat about 4.4 for this set of data, and the boys on average ate 2.6. Okay, and that then would allow you to go ahead and compare data, and you may want to look at more. But that's the beauty of working with averages from day-to-day life. Okay, now looking at some terms here, if you were looking at finding the mean from a frequency table on maybe bite size, or if you've Googled it, you may see some algebra, some letters that come up in the workings. Now, X, that's a letter representing the answer to the survey question. The frequency of each answer is given the letter F. Now this here, you write it as like this. That is called sigma, but that means the total, okay, or the sum then, the sum of. Okay, so here if you see sigma and then with F after it, it means the total frequencies. Okay, so if I use these within this next question then, so a survey was taken to discover the average number of children per house on a street. So here, F is going to be the amount of houses. X is then the number, I'm not sure why this keeps moving. X is the number of children per house. Okay, so what we would then do to find the mean. So the mean is going to be the total of the frequency multiplied by that number divided by the total frequency. Now, this may confuse some of you, and that's absolutely fine. You don't need it at all, okay? But for some of you who feel that you can follow that, and that's great. Don't worry too much about it. Let's keep to what we've been learning. So we need to find the total frequency by adding all of these numbers here in this column together. So that should be 88. And then we find the total number of children then. So here what you'd do is 0 times 23, which is 0. 1 times 22, which is 22. 2 times 24, which is 48. 3 times 10, which is 30. And then 4 times 9, which is 36. So then we find the total of that, so to find the total number of children. So again, type those into your calculator and you should have got an answer of 136. Okay, so to find the mean, sorry, I'm not sure why it keeps doing that. 136 divided by 88, type that into your calculator and you'd get an answer of 1.54545, which we will round to one decimal place. Make sure you're writing down what you're rounding it to. Okay, so here on average on this street there are about 1.5 children, and we know that that wouldn't be the case. So if you did need to take a whole number, it would be 2. But we do write it in your GCSE to decimal places. Okay, so here now is a question that I'd like you to try to see if you can gain these 3 marks. Okay, so in your GCSE, this will be a 3-mark question. It's really important that you do feel confident with finding the mean from a frequency table. That will help you now with what we'll be learning next lesson, where we'll actually be estimating the mean. So here it says the table below shows the shoe sizes of 20 people. Calculate the mean shoe size. Okay, so again, you'll need a pen and paper, please. Okay, write out the question, try it out, and then when you're ready to mark your answer, press play and I'll be going through the answers with you to mark. Okay, hopefully you have tried this question. So here is the marking scheme for this answer then, for this question. So notice you've got 2 method marks and then 1 mark for the answer. So the answer that you should have got was 39.4, but let's go through how to get that answer. So to find the mean, first of all, we need the total frequency. Now the total frequency is given to you in the question because they've got the shoe sizes of 20 people, but if you weren't sure, you could have added up here, okay, the numbers in this column there. So we know that we will be dividing by 20, and then we need to find the total of the shoe sizes. So you may want to create another column here. Now if you were using the algebra, you'd call this F, you'd call this X, and this would be Fx. Okay, so you multiply these together, so you're going to have 3 times 38, which is 114. Then 9 times 39, which is 351. 5 times 40, which is 200, and then 3 times 41, which is 123. Okay, so then we need to find the total of that, which is 788. So here, 788, to find out the mean, we divide that by 20, which gives 39.4. Okay, so where are the marks allocated? You get 1 mark for showing that you're multiplying the frequencies by each of the shoe size, or then for that 788. Then for dividing that 788 by 20, there's another mark, and then for that 39.4 is your 3rd mark. Okay, hopefully now you feel quite confident with that. If you're unsure, remember you can email either myself or your maths teacher at any point for extra help. But I would like you now to go on to My Maths. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that. Here we go then. So go to mymaths.co.uk, log in using the school username and password, and then you've all got your own individual My Portal login details. If you don't have those for any reason, please email myself or your maths teachers and we'll get them to you. So the online homework linked to this lesson is mean from frequency tables. Now if you want some extra help on that, you can click on the lesson and work through that. Remember that there are interactive aspects to it, but what I would like you to do is the online homework. So click there. You are allowed a calculator for these questions. So here then, remember first of all what you to do is find the total number of days, total frequency, then multiply each frequency by the number of children, that's called Fx there, find the total of that, and then divide the total Fx by the total frequency, and that will be the mean. Okay, so do question 1 and then move on to question 2, and that should be it. And we can see how well you've understood this lesson. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Yeah, good luck. Da iawn. Ta-da!